We're here with the Western Conference standings prediction after I did the Eastern Conference a couple days ago, and I'll say the same thing I said there here. These are not going to be perfect, especially in the West. Things are really tough. There are plenty of changes that could happen and plenty of teams that could move up and down, so these won't be 100% accurate when looking back at them at the end of the year. But first up are the Lakers at the top of the Western Conference again. Somehow the defending champs got better this offseason. They lost JaVale, Avery Bradley, Dwight Howard, Danny Green, Rondo, and they replaced all those guys with Schroeder, Montrez, and Marc Gasol. Sounds like back-to-back championships, if you ask me. Next up are the little brothers in Los Angeles, the Clippers. They got better this offseason too, adding Serge Ibaka, who gives them an inside presence they didn't have previously, as well as an upgrade over Shamet in Luke Kennard. They also gave Marcus Morris $64 million, but we won't talk about that here. They'll still be really good in the regular season, so for me, they're a 2 seed. We'll just have to see about the playoffs. The 3rd seed this year might shock a few people, and I think the Portland Trailblazers have potential to be that team. They have a healthy Nurkic, hopefully healthy Rodney Hood, and Zach Collins, as well as progression from Anthony Simons and Gary Trent. They also finally added a wing defender in Robert Covington, who is perfect for this team, as he would be for any team really. So, barring another injury-riddled season, I think Dame takes the Blazers to the 3rd seed, and you'll understand why when we talk about the teams below them. The Denver Nuggets have been a fantastic regular season team in the last few years, and they finally have an emerged Jamal Murray, hopefully, at least. But they did lose Malik Beasley and Jeremy Grant, so now their wing defense is looking a little suspect, mainly with Jeremy Grant, obviously. So I think they'll still have a good regular season. I'm just sliding them down a spot to the 4th seed. The 5th seed is where we finally get to Golden State, who unfortunately lost Klay Thompson to an Achilles injury, and that really sucks. They honestly were going to be higher for a lot of people, I'm sure, until that injury, but I have them at the 5 seed because of it. I mean, who's the starting shooting guard now? Bazemore? Damian Lee? This bench is less suspect than last year, but it's still not that good. So they'll have a decent regular season, I'm sure, but I don't think it'll be anything crazy. Hence me giving them the 5 seed. At the 6th seed, we have an up-and-coming team, one that I hope performs this well, and that's the Phoenix Suns. They improved a lot last season and even went 8-0 in the bubble. They finally seem to have a competent head coach and a team that plays well together, and they improved upon that by trading for Chris Paul. Chris Paul will not only help the culture, but he will also make Devin Booker's day a whole lot easier. I think the Suns will take a big step forward this year, and hopefully they can make some noise in the playoffs. Next up is probably going to be a controversial pick, but before you react, hear me out. The Dallas Mavericks are at the 7th seed again, and there's reasons for it. Their offseason was pretty uneventful, to be honest, and Luka can only do so much by himself. We still don't know if Kristaps is able to play a full season, and if Luka is by himself for 20 games, I'm not sure how well that will go, even if he is establishing himself as one of the best players in the league. If KP is healthy all season, I definitely think they can and probably will move up. But until Kristaps does that, I can't put them much higher. At 8, we have a team that could go anywhere from 6 to 10, and that's the Houston Rockets. They're banking on John Wall being healthy and Harden being on the team all year, and as long as Harden is on the team, I think they'll be a playoff team. It's kind of the same story with KP and Luka. If Wall is actually good and healthy, they could be higher. But if he's not healthy and Harden is gone, they could be much, much lower. And now that we're out of the playoff picture, it's time to offend some fans. First up are the Utah fans. I'm sorry, but you're at number 9. This team is just too thin for me to put them over any of these other teams. And as much as it sucks for Donovan Mitchell, I'm just not sure the team around him is good enough. It's paper thin, and in the regular season that matters a lot. At 10, I have the Memphis Grizzlies, who unfortunately probably won't be able to improve on their good season last year. They did manage to get Desmond Bane, which is cool. I like him. I think he could be a Brandon Clark type player for them next year in terms of emerging out of nowhere. But unless Ja, Triple J, Brandon Clark take a really big jump, I don't see how this team makes the playoffs. Not to mention Justice Winslow is still a pretty big question mark. Below them are the Pelicans, and this is sure to upset way more people. The NBA gave Zion like 18 national TV games, and here I am having them at the 11th seed. But we still don't know if Zion will be healthy. And this team wasn't that good to begin with. They do have a nice mixture of promising young guys and vets, and they did add Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams, and if Zion is healthy, I'm sure they'll be higher. but we've yet to see that, and I'm honestly not willing to bet on that as much as it sucks. Maybe one of their young guys will take an unexpected jump and proves me wrong, but we'll just have to wait and see. At 12, there's the Timberwolves, and there's a lot of reasons for this one. Cat has lost 7 family members to you-know-what, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he came back and wasn't at all himself. People losing 1 family member is hard enough, much less 7. There's also the question of Anthony Edwards' dedication to the game and to getting better, and this team is going to absolutely suck defensively. So, honestly, until these guys prove me wrong, I don't think they'll come close to the playoffs with the teams above them. That's just how it is in the West. 13 is pretty self-explanatory though. It's San Antonio. They got Devin Vassell, which was an odd pick for me, but maybe he'll end up being Danny Green 2.0 with some added stuff. Who knows, really? Maybe a young guy takes a jump, but I wouldn't expect to hear too much from this team this year. 14 is OKC, who has more first-round picks than players on the roster. They have solid guys like George Hill, Shea, Al Horford, Lou Dort, but I don't think that team is going to make a lot of noise in the West, if we're being honest here. Not a lot to say. Hopefully they get Cade Cunningham to pair up with Shea. And at 15, unfortunately, I have the Kings. They lost Bogdan for nothing. Marvin Bagley can't stay healthy, and even De'Aaron Fox's health is in question. Buddy Hield doesn't even know if he wants to be on the team. This organization isn't in a mess right now. Hopefully the new regime can fix things from the ground up. They already have a good start with Fox and Halliburton, but there's not a lot else positive to say about this team. Hopefully their playoff drought ends soon, and hopefully this team just gets things together. But anyway, that's it on the standings video. I'm sure I offended plenty of people, and I'm sorry. I'm sure plenty of my picks will be wrong and I'll get made fun of for it, but that's what comes with making predictions in sports, or anything for that matter. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. And y'all have a good one.